Good morning. My name's Tina Overmeyer, and I'm here to help you use some scoring techniques in the projects that you're going to be doing later on this afternoon. First thing I'm going to show you is the sample that we're going to create right now. This is a clipboard that I created out of cardboard and some other assorted supplies. Okay? Now, I'm going to demo how to score on this piece of cardboard. Take your X-Acto. You also will need a ruler. And what I've done is I've already pre-measured my cardboard. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler, and I have a cardboard secure underneath the cardboard that I'm going to be cutting. And I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. You always use your X-Acto knife, use your finger at the top to help guide, and you guide it towards yourself, but make sure you have plenty of room on this side so that you don't end up cutting yourself. Safety is very important. All right, I'm going to demonstrate how to score this. What I have is the ruler here lined up, and I am going to cut this twice. The first time you use even pressure, and then you go down a little bit deeper as you go down on the second cut. The second cut is right on top of the other one. Now I'm going to move my ruler. As you can see, I have two lines drawn here. That's this cut and this cut. As you can see, I'm going to go here again, starting at the top, holding this with equal pressure on my line. I draw and cut 2 times. Now, I'm lifting this up. These are bent. You can see where I've scored that. You don't want to go too far because you don't want it to go all the way through. See this line? This on the original design is going to be bent the other direction. So I have to go on this side to score. What I'm going to do is lay this in here. And that's going to bend on the opposite direction because I want it to bend this way. And I've only scored that once because as I could see before, this was bending so much. So now, as you can see, I have this here. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my Velcro and I'm going to take part of it, I'm going to bend it so I know where to go, and I'm going to place this on this side, this piece on this side. Then I'm going to measure to see how far I want it down, so I'm placing it here, and I see that this here, press that down there, and then I'll see how far. I have to place this here. Sometimes it's easier just to stick it to the Velcro underneath, find out where you want it, and then press down. And there you go. And so now you'll take a little piece of this duct tape, you'll take your scissors. You'll be wanting about a square piece, so I'll trim that there. Take a little piece of this string, put the string underneath here, place this at the top, like that, and then I'll take the end of my string and attach my pencil. All right, your final project here is finished, so now I'm going to show you some safety features. This blade was not put away, so you push down the button every time you're finished. Now I'm going to demonstrate with the blade a couple of more cuts. If you look at the cardboard, you're going to be able to tell whether it is against the grain or with the grain. Let me show you some different techniques. When you're going with the grain, if you're cutting it twice down, you're going to be able to see that it goes right here against, so you see the individual lines. That makes it a little bit harder to get an exact line. If you go against the grain, you're going to be able to see the rounded part of the cardboard, but you have to be very careful because just as you can see there, I did a little too hard and it popped right through. So you have to be very careful.
What do you mean by against the grain, Miss Overmeyer?
Well, you can see that the corrugated, I'm going to cut this the rest of the way.
I can see lines on the corrugated. Would you say those are against the grain or with the grain?
The grain means that these are the lines. This is what it makes up the cardboard. Against the grain means that you can see all the individual lines in the cardboard itself.
Okay.
Okay? So you want to make sure that you don't cut through. As you can see, I'm beginning to see holes in my cardboard. I was a little aggressive in my cutting. All right? So clean up, and you're going to be working in cutting areas. So when you leave the area, you put the blade back in there and lay it down, and then go back to your design. That's why you draw the lines that you want to cut before you leave the design area. But you have to document this final project. To do that, you are going to need to make a drawing. This drawing should show your project from two different points of view. If you can notice, this is the front top view. You can see the lines here and your cardboard, flat top.
So which one is that on here, Miss Overmeyer?
This is the flat top, because you can see that I've drawn the rectangle, and then I've also placed the dotted lines where the cuts are, and the piece of tape and the string. Now, I've drawn it, as like you can see from this object, from the side view, so that you can see it in perspective. So you can see it two-dimensionally rather than flat. And when you've done that, here's my drawing here. Things that you need to take careful note of. You need to make sure that you put dotted lines where there are folds. Look at your object. What is the perspective that you want to draw it from? How do you get the most of the drawing in your sketch to be able to convey what you've done? Also write out all of your supplies and the shape of them. You can see I put the duct tape here, I drew that, my folds, the cut, the pencil, the string that attached, and my Velcro and where I placed those. And I shaded this section back here so that you could see the depth of that. What's the purpose of making a drawing? Well, you want to be able to document your product because you want to be able to share that for a later time. And you want to show the supplies that you used, and so that somebody can then duplicate this product exactly without tearing it apart. They'll know the supplies they need and what they need to have done to be able to reproduce your product. Now you're ready to start your challenge. Make sure that when you're using the X-Acto knives that you go to the proper area in the room where we've set it up for cutting. Use a cutting board underneath all your cuts. Draw on your cardboard exactly what you want to cut. Make sure you know which direction you want to cut, whether it's on the top or the bottom. And don't forget, we're going to want you to document what you've done. Have a great time doing this. It's going to be fun.